What's your kill count, contractor? General Reynolds's voice cuts through the briefing room. 15 Marine officers freeze mid-conversation. Ellen Reeves doesn't look up from her tactical assessment folder. The world map behind Reynolds shows Afghanistan in red pins. Simple question. Reynolds leans forward, for stars gleaming. You're lecturing us about combat zones. How many confirmed kills do you have? Captain Torres laughs. She analyzes satellite photos. General. Her kills are probably in PowerPoint. The room explodes in laughter. Ellen's fingers stop moving on the folder. Her wedding ring clicks once against the table. September 15th, 2012. The laughter dies. October 3rd, 2014. Reynolds's smile vanishes. December 22nd, 2016. No numbers, just dates. Each one lands like a hammer on steel. January 9th, 2018. Colonel Hayes shifts in his seat. March 7th, 2019. Lieutenant Colonel Harrison's hand moves toward his classified phone. April 29th, 2020. Someone whispers Kandahar. August 26th, 2021. The Abbey Gate bombing. Every Marine knows that date. Ellen Stoips. 7 dates. Her gray eyes finally meet Reynolds. You asked for numbers, General. Her voice stays flat. I gave you the dates. The numbers don't matter anymore. Master Sergeant Williams in the corner stands slowly. He was there for one of those dates. Reynolds's chair scrapes against the floor. Ms. Reeves. His voice drops to a dangerous quiet. Are you having some kind of episode? Should I call medical? Ellen closes her folder with deliberate precision. Her breathing pattern never changes. For seconds in, for seconds hold, for seconds out. The tactical breathing every operator knows. I'm perfectly fine, General. Fine? Torres jumps in. You just rattled off random dates like some conspiracy theorist. What are you even trying to say? Ellen's hand moves to her notebook. She writes something without looking down. Grid coordinates from memory. Williams catches the movement. Only field operators write coordinates like that. They're not random, Ellen says quietly. Reynolds slams his palm on the table. Then explain them. Captain Torres pulls out his phone. September 15th, 2012. Let me check what earth-shattering event happened on this magical date. Strange. Nothing. Just another day in Afghanistan. Exactly. Reynolds crosses his arms. Whatever game you're playing, Ms. Reeves, it ends now. Ellen's eyes flick to the map. October 3rd, 2014. Cunard provincia gridit 34 Papa, Quebec, 927 1381. Harrison's fingers freeze over his keyboard. Those coordinates. Are you seriously going to keep doing this? Reynolds's patience evaporates. Guards. No, wait. Harrison speaks. General, those coordinates. I need to check something. Harrison is already typing, accessing databases most people don't know exist. Ellen watches him work. She knows what he will find, or rather what he won't find. This is ridiculous. Torres stands. General, we're wasting time. December 22nd, 2016, Ellen says, looking directly at Torres. 0330 hours. Firebase Chapman. Ring a bell, Captain. Torres goes white. That date, that time, that place. Classified. How could she possibly know? Captain, you know what she's talking about. Reynolds's tone has shifted. Harrison's laptop beeps. His face drains of color. General, these dates, they're all listed in the Ghost Protocol database. Ghost Protocol. Operations that don't exist. Missions with no records. Personnel who were never there. Reynolds's hand moves to his sidearm. Who are you? I'm exactly who my contractor badge says I am. Ellen Reeves, tactical analyst, former military spouse. Former? Hay speaks up. Your husband served? He did. Where is he now? Ellen's wedding ring catches the light. He died. September 15th, 2012. The first date. My husband was Captain James Reeves. Ellen continues. Marine Force Recon. Killed in action. Helmand Province. Officially, it was a training accident. Helicopter malfunction. 8 Marines dead. Reynolds's jaw tightens. I remember that incident. Tragique accident. Accident. Ellen tastes the word like poison. Is that what you call it when a helicopter gets hit by an RPG fired from a position that was supposed to be clear? When 8 Marines die because someone leaked their flight path, the room erupts. That's a serious accusation. It's not an accusation. It's a fact. Ellen's voice never rises. Well, I've spent 9 years proving. She stands slowly. October 3rd, 2014. Operation Mountain Storm. 12 operators insert into Khyber province. By dawn, 14 are dead, including the 2 Afghan guides who were supposedly on our side. Our side? Hayes catches it immediately. December 22nd, 2016. Firebase Chapman. Convoy hits an ambush. Exactly where the enemy shouldn't have known to wait. 3 dead, 5 wounded. Torres' hands are shaking now. January 9th, 2018. Nangar Province. Drone strike called off because target location suddenly has civilians. 4 special operators dead in the resulting firefight. March 7th, 2019. Female cultural support team member killed by sniper during what was logged as a routine medical mission. The sniper knew exactly where she'd be standing. April 29th, 2020. Kandahar safe house compromised. 2 CIA officers, 3 special operators. The safe house that only 6 people knew about. Harrison closes his laptop. General, we need to clear the room. Like hell we do. Reynolds' face is red. This woman is making wild accusations about leaked operations, dead Marines, and she expects us to what? Take her word for it. Ellen reaches into her jacket slowly. Every Marine tenses. She pulls out a small notebook, weathered, stained. This was my husband's. She sets it on the table. He was keeping track of irregularities, patterns. He died 48 hours after he reported his concerns up the chain of command. You're suggesting someone in this room. I'm not suggesting anything, General. Ellen cuts him off. I'm telling you that every date I mentioned corresponds to a leaked operation. And someone at this table signed off on every single one. The silence is deafening. Ma'am, if what you're saying is true, Williams says, you're putting yourself in considerable danger. Ellen's laugh is short, bitter. Master Sergeant, I've been in danger since the day my husband started asking questions. The only difference is now I have answers. Answers? Reynolds' voice is ice. You have theories. Conspiracy theories from a grieving widow who can't accept that war is dangerous and people die. Ellen's composure cracks slightly. Her hand moves to her collar. The movement reveals a scar on her neck. A burn pattern that Harrison recognizes immediately. White phosphorus. How did you get that scar? Harrison asks quietly. August 26th, 2021. Obigota. Every Marine in the room goes rigid. You were at Abbey Gate. Reynolds' voice has lost its edge. I was. Contractors were evacuated days before. I wasn't a contractor then. Then what were you? Ellen looks at each of them. I was someone who didn't exist, doing a job that never happened for an agency that wouldn't claim me if I died. Harrison's secure phone buzzes. He glances at it and his face goes white. General, we have a problem. JSOC wants to know why we're interrogating one of their former operators without notification. Former operator, not analyst. Operator. You're joking. Harrison turns his phone screen toward the general. Sarah Miller. Call sign Raven 24, Central Intelligence Agency, Special Activities Division. Officially killed in action. August 28th, 2021, Kabul, Afghanistan. But I'm looking at her, Hayes says slowly. No, incorrect. You're looking at Ellen Reeves. Sarah Miller died with 13 Marines at Abbey Gate. She's buried in a grave in Arlington that doesn't have her name on it. William steps forward. Administrative death. They declared you Kia to protect your cover. Ellen nods once. But why? Reynolds demands. Why the charade? Why come here as a contractor? Why now? Because someone in this room is a traitor. The words detonate in the silence. Torres jumps to his feet. That's insane. Sit down, Captain. Reynolds' voice is deadly quiet. You said someone at this table signed off on every leaked operation. They did. Prove it. Ellen opens her husband's notebook to a marked page. Every operation I mentioned went through standard approval channels. Each one required sign-off from the J3 operations office. Between 2012 and 2021, only 4 people held that position long enough to matter. She looks around the table. 3 of them are dead. The 4th is sitting in this room. Everyone starts looking at each other. Harrison pulls up personnel records, cross-referencing dates. General Reynolds, you were J3 from 2011 to 2014. Colonel Hayes, you had J3 from 2017 to 2019. And Captain Torres. Harrison stops typing. You were special assistant to the J3 from 2019 to 2021. All eyes turn to Torres. The captain's face is sweating. So what? This doesn't prove anything. Ellen pulls out her phone. Every leaked operation had one thing in common: a specific communication protocol. Someone was using that protocol to send information outside the chain of command. She sets the phone on the table. These are from the NSA. Took me 3 years to get them declassified. Every leaked operation shows the same digital signature, the same destination IP address. Harrison leans forward. These communications went to a server in Pakistan. Ellen finishes, registered to a front company funded through accounts that trace back to Iranian intelligence. The room explodes. Iranian intelligence? That's treason. Ms. Reeves, if this is true, Reynolds says, why didn't you take it through proper channels? I did 3 times. The first person I reported to died in a car accident 2 days later. The second had a heart attack despite being 28 years old. The third disappeared entirely. So you came here, Williams says. You came directly to the source. I came to end it. 9 years of ghosts. 9 years of families thinking their loved ones died in accidents. 9 years of someone in this room trading American lives for money. Torres stands again, backing toward the door. This is insane. Captain Torres. Reynolds' voice stops him cold. You will sit back down. That's an order. Sir, she's obviously traumatized. Then you won't mind if we check your phone, Harrison suggests. Torres' hand moves instinctively to his pocket. That's private property. Not if you're under investigation for treason, Reynolds says quietly. Ellen pulls another item from her jacket. A challenge coin. Raven 24. My husband started this investigation. He died for it. 13 Marines died at Abbey Gate because someone leaked that we were using that specific gate at that specific time. I nearly died there too. She touches the scar. But I lived and I spent 3 years putting together what James started. 3 years becoming Ellen Reeves, contractor, so I could get close enough to finish it. Harrison's laptop beeps. JSOC is sending a team. They'll be here in 10 minutes. Good, Reynolds says. But he's looking at Torres. The captain's hand edges toward his sidearm. Williams sees it. His hand moves faster. Captain, I wouldn't. Ellen pulls up another file on her phone. Captain Torres, you have an encrypted messaging app on your personal device. Secure version 4.2. You think it's untraceable. Torres' eyes widen. It's not, especially when the NSA is motivated to look. You've been sending grid coordinates, patrol schedules, and convoy routes for 2 years. Your handler pays you in cryptocurrency. Your last payment was $50,000. April 29, 2020. The Kandahar safe house. 5 Americans died for $50,000. Torres brakes, not toward his weapon, toward the door. Williams is faster. The master sergeant's hand closes on Torres' shoulder. Don't move, son. It'll go easier if you don't move. Reynolds pulls his secure phone. Hayes helps Williams secure Torres with zip cuffs. Harrison continues typing, pulling up more evidence. Ellen sinks into her chair. For the first time, she looks exhausted. 9 years, she whispers. You did it, ma'am. Williams goes to one knee beside her. You got him. I got one of them, she corrects. There are more. The door bursts open. JSOC operators flood in. A lieutenant-colonel approche Reynolds. They exchange quick words. The officer turns to Ellen. Miss Miller, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Beck. We've been looking for you for 3 years. Ellen stands. I wasn't lost, Colonel. I was working. Are you prepared to come with us? There are some people in Virginia who would very much like to debrief you. Ellen looks around the room one more time. I'll come with you, but I have conditions. You always did. What do you want? Full disclosure to the families of everyone on my list. They deserve to know their loved ones didn't die in accidents. That can be arranged. And I want to finish what I started. Beck's expression sharpens. Meaning? Torres was small time. A greedy captain who wanted money. But someone recruited him. Someone taught him how to hide his communications. Someone is running a network, and he was just one asset. She looks at Reynolds. General, you asked for my kill count. I don't count bodies anymore. I count the operations I've saved, the leaks I've stopped, the families that won't get a folded flag because I found the traitor first. What do you need from us? Reynolds asks. Harrison interrupts. General, I've been running Torres communication logs through our database. There are response signatures. Someone was answering his messages from inside our system. Everyone freezes. Inside our system, Reynolds repeats. You mean someone else in the military? Someone with high enough clearance to access the J3 communications network. Ellen closes her eyes. When she opens them, there's relief. I knew Torres wasn't smart enough to do this alone. Beck pulls out his phone. I need to make some calls. This just became a much larger investigation. Ellen moves to the window. Williams joins her. Ma'am, can I ask you something? She nods. The dates. You could have just shown them the evidence. Why start with the dates? Because every one of those dates is burned into my memory. Every operation that went wrong. Every family that got knocked on their door. Every ghost I carry. She touches her wedding ring. My husband used to say that in war we count the days until we come home. But for some of us, the counting never stops. We just start counting different things. What do you count now? Ellen watches a squad of young Marines march past outside. I count the ones I save. Beck returns, his face grim. Ms. Miller, we need to move. Torres Handler knows we have him. Our communications just lit up with chatter. Ellen turns from the window. The exhaustion is gone. Then we'd better move fast. As they prepare to leave, Reynolds approaches her. Ms. Miller, Ellen, I owe you an apology. You don't owe me anything, General. You didn't know. That's the problem. I should have known. The responsibility belongs to whoever recruited Torres. Ellen cuts him off. I'm going to find them. Reynolds nods. Then he renders a full formal salute. After a moment, every officer in the room follows suit. Ellen stands there, surrounded by Marines in uniform, all saluting her. She doesn't salute back. She can't. She's a civilian now. Sarah Miller is dead. Instead, she nods once. As she passes Torres, still in custody, she stops. Was it worth it? She asks quietly. The money? Was it worth their lives? Torres doesn't answer. I want you to know something. Every time you close your eyes for the rest of your life, I want you to see their faces. The ones who died because of you. Torres tries to look away. Ellen doesn't let him. September 15th, 2012. 8 Marines, including my husband. October 3rd, 2014. 14 operators. December 22nd, 2016. 3 dead, 5 wounded. Should I continue? Stop, Torres whispers. January 9th, 2018. For special operators. March 7th, 2019. 1 cultural support specialist, a woman with 2 kids at home. April 29th, 2020. 5 Americans. August 26th, 2021. 13 service members, 18 wounded, 170 Afghan civilians. Because you told them exactly when and where we'd be. Torres is crying now. Ellen turns away. Beck is waiting at the door. As Ellen approaches, one of the JSOC operators speaks up. Ma'am, I was at Abbey Gate Perimeter Security. I saw you. During the evacuation, you were getting kids over the wall when the bomb went off. You saved my squad leader's daughter. You went back 3 times. Even after you were hurt. You saved 17 people that day. Ellen's mask slips slightly. Not enough. It's never enough, Williams says. But 17 families disagree with you, ma'am. Beck clears his throat. We really need to move. Ellen follows him out. But at the door, she turns back. General, check the operations from the last 6 months. All of them. Torres wasn't the only one. Then she's gone. Harrison looks at Reynolds. Sir, should we lock down everything? Reynolds orders. Every operation, every communication, every order from the last 2 years. If there are more traitors in our ranks, we find them. He turns to the room. Gentlemen, what you've seen here is classified beyond your current clearance. Anyone who discusses this outside official channels will face charges. Murmurs of yes, sir ripple through the room. Williams moves to the window. Happy hunting, Raven 24, he says quietly. Outside, 3 black SUVs pull away from the building. In the middle vehicle, Ellen sits between 2 JSOC operators, her husband's notebook in her lap. Beck turns to look at her. The director wants to meet with you personally. The CIA director, among others. This has gotten attention at the highest levels. They want to come back officially. They want to offer you options. Ellen looks out the window. I'm done being a ghost, Colonel. Then what do you want to be? Ellen thinks of the dates, the faces, the families. I want to be the person who makes sure this never happens again. That could be arranged. There's talk of a new position. Counterintelligence specifically focused on insider threats. You'd have full authority. And Torres Network, yours to hunt. Ellen's reflection shows determination. Her phone buzzes. She checks it. The message is simple. We know what you did. Raven 24 should have stayed dead. Beck sees her stiffen. What is it? She shows him the phone. His face darkens. They know we have Torres. They knew the moment we took him, which means they have someone else inside. Someone who was in that room. Ellen's mind races through the faces. One of them sent that message. One of them is part of the network. Turn the car around. What? Turn around. We're going back. Someone in that room is a traitor. They just threatened me, which means they're panicking. Panicked people make mistakes. Beck considers this. Then he speaks to the driver. Turn around. The convoy executes a tactical turn. Ellen pulls up another app. There. Someone's transmitting right now. Beck speaks into his radio. All units lock down the conference building. No one in or out. The SUVs screech to a halt. Ellen is out before the vehicle fully stops. They burst through the entrance. Where's General Reynolds? Beck demands. A corporal points upward. Still in the conference room, sir. Ellen doesn't wait. She takes the stairs 3 at a time. Behind her, Beck's team struggles to keep up. Through the glass doors, she can see them all. Reynolds, Hayes, Harrison, Williams. Ellen pulls out her phone, shows Beck the transmission signature. It's coming from inside that room. Beck nods to his team. They stack up. Ellen stops them. Wait, let me. She opens the door casually. Every head turns. Ms. Miller, what are you? Someone in this room sent me a message, Ellen says. She holds up her phone. Raven 24 should have stayed dead. Transmitted 47 seconds ago from this location. The room freezes. Harrison immediately steps away from his laptop. Check mine first. Hayes does the same. But Reynolds' hand moves to his pocket. General, Ellen's voice is soft. Dangerous. This is ridiculous, Reynolds says. Williams has moved to block the other exit. Show us your phone, General, Beck says. Reynolds pulls out his phone. Standard issue. Your other phone, Ellen says. The general's face hardens. I don't know what you're talking about. Ellen pulls up another screen. Encrypted burst transmission. Origin point. She walks around the table. Right here. She stops directly behind Reynolds' chair. It's not me, Reynolds says firmly. Check the trajectory. Beck's team starts to move, but Ellen doesn't budge. She's watching Reynolds. Then she turns to Harrison. You've been very helpful, Colonel Harrison. Very quick to pull up classified files. Very eager to check databases. I was doing my job. Your job doesn't give you access to Ghost Protocol files. Not without leaving a trace. But somehow you got in clean, like you've done it before. Harrison's hand edges toward his laptop. Williams draws his weapon. Don't. The room explodes into motion. Harrison lunges for his laptop. Beck's team moves to intercept. But Ellen is faster digitally. Her phone connects to Harrison's laptop before he can reach it. A program locks his system. Harrison crashes into the table, held down by 2 JSOC operators. You stupid woman, he snarls. You have no idea what you've done. I stopped a traitor, Ellen says calmly. I'm not the traitor. The system is. We send kids to die for nothing. At least I was getting something out of it. Reynolds looks like he's aged 10 years. Harrison, you were my intelligence officer. I trusted you. Harrison laughs bitterly. You trusted the system, General, just like Sarah's husband did. Look where that got him. Oh yes, I know all about Captain Reeves. Good Marine, followed orders, trusted his chain of command. And when he found irregularities, what did he do? He reported them properly. To me. The temperature drops to Arctic levels. You killed him, Ellen says. I passed along information that his helicopter would be flying a certain route. What happened after that? Harrison shrugs. War is dangerous. Ellen's control cracks. She moves toward Harrison. For a moment, everyone thinks she's going to strike him. Instead, she kneels beside him. My husband was a good man. He believed in the core, in America, in doing the right thing. He died believing that the system was worth saving. She pulls out a photo. This was taken 3 days before he died. Him and his squad. 8 Marines who trusted him, who trusted you. She holds it where Harrison can see it. Their names were Martinez, Johnson, Kim, Washington, Patel, O'Brien, Jackson, and Reeves. Say their names. Harrison turns his head away. Say their names. I don't. Martinez was 22, had a daughter he'd never met. Johnson was getting married in a month. Kim was first-generation American. Washington was on his 4th deployment. Patel was going to be a doctor. O'Brien had twin boys turning 3. Jackson was barely 19. Each name lands like a hammer blow. And James, my husband, was 2 weeks from coming home. Harrison still won't look at her. Ellen stands. You're right about one thing, Colonel. The system is flawed. But it's not the system that's the traitor. It's people like you who corrupt it from within. Beck steps forward. Ms. Miller, we need to process him. No. Ellen interrupts. There's no time. Harrison and Torres weren't working alone. Were you, Colonel? Harrison's silence speaks volumes. We need to interrogate him now before the rest of the network disappears. Reynolds finds his voice. This is my base. With respect, General. Ellen cuts him off. You've had a network of traitors operating under your nose for years. Maybe it's time to step aside. The rebuke stings, but Reynolds nods. Beck's team starts setting up for interrogation. Ellen pulls up more data. Let me show you something, Colonel Harrison. While you were checking databases, I was running a trace on your access patterns. She projects data onto the screen. Every time an operation was leaked, you access specific files within 72 hours. Red lines connect dates to file access logs. But here's the interesting part. You weren't just stealing information. You were altering it. A grid coordinate here, a timing adjustment there, just enough to ensure maximum casualties. The room stares in horrified fascination. You weren't just selling information. You were engineering failures. Prove it, Harrison spits. Ellen pulls up another file. January 9th, 2018. You changed the abort code for a drone strike. 4 operators died. Try to protect civilians from our own missile. Harrison's defiance wavers. March 7th, 2019. You altered the medical team's position by 200 meters. Put them directly in a sniper's kill zone. More evidence flows across the screen. April 29th, 2020. You didn't just leak the safe house location. You disabled the backup evacuation protocol. Trapped 5 Americans inside. Each revelation builds the case. August 26th, 2021. Obigota. Harrison goes pale. You knew about the bomber. Not just that an attack was coming, but specifically who and where. You could have stopped it. 13 service members, 170 civilians. You let them die. I didn't know it would be that bad. You knew exactly what would happen. Ellenesh composure shetters. I have the communications. You discussed the bomb size, the crowd density, the optimal timing for maximum casualties. She turns to Beck. He wasn't just selling intelligence. He was actively working with the enemy to kill Americans. Colonel Harrison, you're under arrest for treason, murder, and crimes against the United States. Wait. Harrison interrupts. I'll make a deal. I'll give you the whole network. Ellen laughs, but there's no humor. You think you have leverage? I've been tracking your network for 3 years. I know about the account in Cyprus, the handler in Islamabad, the dead drop in Dubai. I know about Mitchell in Bahrain, Cooper at CENTCOM, and the contractor firm you're using to launder payments. Each name makes Harrison sink lower. But please, tell us what you know. It'll make prosecuting your accomplices easier. Harrison looks around the room, seeking sympathy. He finds only disgust. You don't understand, he says desperately. It's not about the money. It's about the truth. We're fighting wars that can't be won. Sending kids to die for nothing meant something. William speaks. They meant something to their families, to their brothers and sisters in arms. You took that meaning and turned it into blood money. Reynolds steps forward. How long, Harrison? How long have you been doing this? Harrison's shoulders slump. 6 years. The admission hangs in the air. Ellen pulls out her husband's notebook. James figured it out, didn't he? Not all of it, but enough. Harrison nods reluctantly. So you had him killed. Made it look like an operational failure. Another nod. And when I started investigating, you tried to have me killed too. Abbey Gate wasn't random. You knew I'd be there. You thought the bomb would solve your problem. Harrison looks up sharply. That wasn't. I didn't specifically target you. No, you just didn't warn me or anyone. You let it happen. Ellen closes the notebook. Do you know what the hardest part was? Not the investigation, not becoming Ellen Reeves. The hardest part was sitting at my husband's funeral, holding his flag, and having everyone tell me he died a hero in a training accident. Her voice breaks. He did die a hero, but it wasn't an accident. And for 9 years, I couldn't tell anyone the truth. Couldn't even properly grieve because Sarah Miller was supposed to be dead too. She looks at each person. Every one of those dates I recited represents people like James. Heroes whose deaths were turned into lies. Families who never got the truth. Today that changes. Beck nods to his team. They lift Harrison. As they move him toward the door, Ellen calls out. Harrison. He looks back. Torres already gave us everything. Your confession just confirms it. But I wanted you to know that your network is already being rolled up. Mitchell was arrested an hour ago. Cooper is in custody at CENTCOM. The contractor firm's assets have been frozen. Harrison's face crumbles. It's over, Ellen says simply. All of it. As Harrison is dragged away, the room exhales collectively. Reynolds sinks into a chair. 6 years. It's not your fault, General, Ellen says. Still my responsibility. Yes, but responsibility and fault aren't the same thing. You can take responsibility for fixing this without taking blame for causing it. Reynolds looks at her with respect. What happens now? Now Ellen looks at Beck. Now we clean house. Every operation Harrison touched gets reviewed. Every death gets investigated. Every family gets the truth if they want it. That's going to be painful, difficult, necessary. Ellen finishes for him. Hayes speaks. The media will have a field day. The damage was done when Harrison and Torres started selling out their brothers and sisters. Ellen cuts him off. Acknowledging it is the first step to healing it. She moves to the window. Do you know what my husband wrote in his last entry? She asks. Nobody answers. He wrote, something is wrong. I don't know what, but I can feel it. Good Marines are dying for bad reasons. If something happens to me, someone needs to know I try to stop it. She turns back. He tried and died for it. But his death wasn't meaningless. It started the investigation that led to today. Every life, save from here forward, is part of his legacy. Williams approaches. Ma'am, what will you do now? Will you come back officially? Sarah Miller is dead. She needs to stay that way. Too many ongoing operations depend on it. But Ellen Reeves is a tactical contractor with a talent for finding patterns. Maybe she continues that work. Maybe she helps prevent the next Harrison or Torres. The director's offer stands. Beck says, full reinstatement, new identity if needed. Whatever resources you require. I'll think about it. But first there's something I need to do. She pulls out her phone, scrolls through contacts, stops at one. The screen shows James' voicemail. I've been saving his last voicemail for 9 years. Haven't been able to listen to it because once I do, it's really over. He's really gone. She presses play. James Reeves's voice fills the room, warm and alive. Hey, beautiful. Just wanted to hear your voice before we head out. Something feels off about this mission, but you know me, always paranoid. Tell you what, when I get back tomorrow, let's go to that place you like. The one with the terrible coffee, but great pancakes. I love you, Sarah. See you soon. The message ends. The room is silent except for Ellen's quiet breathing. He never made it back. The helicopter was hit 3 hours after he left that message. Miss Miller, Ellen, Reynolds clears his throat. I know it doesn't change anything, but the Corps failed your husband. Failed you? I'm sorry. The Corps didn't fail him, General. Harrison did. Torres did. The system isn't perfect, but it's worth saving. James believed that. I still do. She straightens. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have families to notify. Parents who deserve to know their children died as heroes, not victims. Spouses who need the truth. Children who should know their parents' sacrifice meant something. We'll handle the official notifications, Beck says. No, I'll do it. I've carried their ghosts for years. The least I can do is give their families closure. She starts to leave, then stops. General Reynolds, you asked about my kill count. Here's the truth. I've never counted the lives I've taken, but I've counted every American life lost to betrayal. 43 in operations directly compromised by Harrison and Torres. Hundreds more in operations we're still investigating. She looks back. That's my count. And with Harrison and Torres out of the picture, it stops growing. As she reaches for the door, Williams calls out, "Ma'am, one more question. Those other 6 dates you mentioned, we've only accounted for 5. What happened on the 6th? Ellen's hand tightens on the handle. March 7th, 2019. The cultural support specialist. You said a woman with 2 kids. I did. Who was she? Ellen is quiet for a long moment. My sister. The admission lands like a bomb. Jessica was her name. She joined after James died. Said she wanted to continue his work. I tried to talk her out of it. Harrison changed her position by 200 meters. Put her directly in a sniper's crosshairs. She died instantly. The rage in her eyes could melt steel. So yes, this is personal. But it's also bigger than personal. It's about every family destroyed, every trust betrayed, every life lost to greed and treason. Reynolds stands. Every officer follows suit. We'll support you. Whatever you need, whatever resources, the Corps owes you that much. The Corps owes me nothing, but it owes them everything. The ones who didn't come home. The ones who died thinking their country let them down. The ones whose sacrifice was turned into profit for traitors. She opens the door. I'll be in touch, General. There's still work to do. Harrison and Torres were just the beginning. The network goes deeper. It'll take years to unravel it all. Years you're willing to give, Beck asks. Ellen thinks of the dates, the faces, the empty chairs. Every day for the rest of my life, if necessary. She walks through the door. In the hallway, she stops at a memorial display. Photos,